Hi, welcome to another video from the Product Success Ranger series. My name is Yu Hong Ng and I'm a Product Success Technical Director from ServiceNow. Today I would like to show you how to leverage ML to quickly discover applications which are not discovered out of the box by ServiceNow, whether it's a custom homegrown application or an unrecognized application. But before we dive into it, just a quick note that this presentation may contain forward-looking statements. I will show you how to use two different features in the Discovery Admin Workspace to help you discover non-out-of-the-box applications quickly. Firstly, using the newer ITOM Content Service, and then using application fingerprinting. And finally, I'll end with some tips on when to use the different methods. Next, we're going to look at using Discovery Admin Workspace Content 360 to help us discover applications and evaluate application suggestions based on AI machine learning and crowdsourced data. We all know that CMDB is the trusted source of truth and should understand all the applications running on your servers. So out of the box, we do supply process classifiers, which trigger patterns, horizontal patterns, to recognize the most common applications which many customers use. But we all know that there will always be other applications which we don't recognize, but the customer wants recorded in CMDB. And nowadays, many applications are also built with wrappers around Java, Python, Ruby, PowerShell. And trying to differentiate the applications from the wrapper is proving difficult. Therefore, we do have a large gap between the out-of-the-box content and the field requirements, because new applications and services are being developed and deployed on a regular basis. And Discovery Pattern Content team cannot close the gap, which keeps growing. So we are faced with challenges like, what if I want to create my own process classifier, my own CMDB class, and pattern quickly for a non-standard homegrown application or a brand new application? So the solution for that is using ML for creating application fingerprints. So this came in the Paris timeline, and we use our platform's predictive intelligence and the ML engine in each data center to perform the processing of these application fingerprints. All the discovery process data, which understands what processes were seen to be running on each server, are sent to machine learning. And our machine learning then use a clustering solution to quantify, classify, and build those recommended rules for the detected processes. So this takes all the hard work of recognizing the applications running across the environment. And we've also added a couple of simple steps to start understanding the application. Okay, so that covers the use case for discovering homegrown applications. But what if I want to recognize and discover unknown processes quickly as applications? Or what if I don't want to use AFP to create my own process classifier, CMDB class, or pattern for these unknown pieces of applications? So leveraging on application fingerprinting, which has already been deployed to thousands of customers, and the data is readily available. We wanted to use this data to identify what this application fingerprint is and release content for it to create a ServiceNow certified process classifier. So in February this year, we released ITOM Content Service, and customers can decide to opt in and send the discovery data for creating new content for applications. The idea is to create application CIs based on the application fingerprint sourced from our content service, which is ultimately crowdsourced by other customer application fingerprint data. The ITOM Content Service also allows sharing of SNMP system OID. So behind the scenes, when we do classify the application, we create shallow CIs on the CMDB CI app class on the process name and parameters. To do that, there is no need to launch a horizontal discovery pattern. The reason to do that is because we want to classify and push the CI files to the CMDB. We see that in most of the cases, customers does not need to get many details on the CI. Let's move on to look at a demo. Now we're going to look at a demo on how we can use application fingerprint and content service suggestion to discover applications that we don't discover out of the box. Before we do that, we'll need to install the Discovery Admin Workspace from our store app, as well as the ITOM Content Service from the store app. Once that's done, let's access the Discovery Admin Workspace under Content 360. You'll notice that even though we've installed ITOM Content Service, the widget for Content Service Suggestion is not populated. To activate it, we need to opt in. So after reading agreement and opting in, let's click yes. And then you have the option to share your process fingerprints as well as your SNMP OIDs. Let's do that here anyway. Once you've activated content service suggestions, you'll see a big number here. Right now, over 1,200 content service suggestions have been downloaded into your instance. But what does that actually mean? Behind the scenes, it's actually downloaded more than 1,000 inactive process classifiers. Okay. So by default, they are all false. So they will not run if the process is detected. To actually activate them, you need to go into here and you'll see content service suggestions and the process classifiers group into different categories. Okay. If you expand them out, you can actually select different groups of process classifiers and you can activate them either individually or all at once. Okay. Once you've activated them, behind the scenes, the actual process classifier will be active. Right. So in my instance, I've actually activated the CrowdStrike Falcon Sensor process classifier. What that means is on the next OS discovery, and if a CrowdStrike Falcon Sensor process is running, a CMDB CI APPL CI will be created. So I've already done discovery of my environment, and you will see that all the application CIs have been created for CrowdStrike. And it will also have a relationship to the server that it's running on. Okay. Another feature of ITOM Content Service is its integration with software asset management. So we do have an option in Content Service to create software installation records for the process classifier. So for example, my customer has said, oh, we would like to create software installation records if we detect CrowdStrike Falcon sensor as a process. Okay. So what I've done, what you need to do is actually you change this setting from false to true, call create install software, and on the discovery of CrowdStrike Falcon sensor process, you will actually get software installation record for each of the process detected. Okay. So what about using application fingerprint suggestion to discover an application? Like I mentioned before, it's a great feature to discover applications that the customer has created, that it's a custom homegrown software that we would like to place into the CMDB. So in that case, those processes have been analyzed and grouped, and it should be selectable from the Application Fingerprint Suggestion tab. If, for example, you've chosen Alert Manager and open it up, you have the option to change the class name before you add to Discovery. Once you've added to Discovery, any process that matching this classifier will create a CI in this class, and it will also create a discovery pattern. Even though the discovery pattern is simple, it only has an identification section. So in my instance, I chose Google Chrome as an example that was returned by application fingerprint suggestion, and I added it to Discovery. So what happened behind the scenes is it will first create a process classification for Google Chrome, and on OS Discovery, it will create a CI in this table. Okay. But to create that CI, it also created a discovery pattern called Google Chrome App Suggestion with a basic identification section. The good thing of using AFP is you can actually extend the pattern to collect additional attributes. In my case, I added an extension section to grab the version and edition of Google Chrome. And if you need to use this application pattern for service mapping, you can optionally add connection sections to it. Okay. So in summary, we have used machine learning, basically using application fingerprinting, as well as ITOM Content Service to help us discover applications that normally we cannot discover through out-of-the-box methods. So if you want to discover non-standard homegrown applications, I would suggest using application fingerprinting. The patterns that gets created by application fingerprinting can also be extended to include extensions to collect more attributes and connection sections if you plan to use it as part of a top-down service map. If you want to recognize and discover unknown processes quickly as applications, but do not want to use AFP to discover them, then consider using ITOM Content Service. You also have the option of creating software installation records when these processes are discovered, or you can use both methods too. That concludes the demo of using the Content 360 application suggestions, application fingerprinting suggestions, and content service to discover applications.
Thank you very much for your time. I wish you all the best in your ITOM journey.